Have you ever found yourself awake at 3 a.m., staring into the darkness, asking yourself, why am I awake again? You're not alone. In fact, millions of older adults across the globe quietly wrestle with this mysterious early morning awakening. But what if I told you that waking up at 3 a.m. isn't a flaw? It's a message, a whisper from your body, your spirit, and even your past. Today on Buddhist Mindfulness, we're going beyond the surface and diving into what these wake-ups might really mean, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. We'll uncover science, share deeply human stories, and reflect through the lens of Buddhist wisdom. So stay with us. What you discover here could transform the way you see your sleep and your life. And if you're ready to learn, grow, and find peace in unexpected places, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Buddhist Mindfulness, and ring that bell so you never miss a moment of insight and healing. Reason number one, the melatonin shift, nature's gentle nudge. As we grow older, subtle changes begin to occur within the body's internal systems, many of which are completely natural, even though they may feel unfamiliar or even unwelcome. One of the most significant changes related to sleep involves melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate our sleep-wake cycle. Produced by the pineal gland, melatonin rises in the evening to signal that it's time for rest. But with age, our production of melatonin gradually decreases. This is not due to anything we've done wrong. It's not a mistake in our habits or a failure of discipline. Rather, it's nature's gentle nudge, an organic part of the aging process that shifts the body into a new rhythm. For many older adults, this change can result in earlier bedtimes, lighter sleep, or waking up during the night, often around 3 a.m. While this can initially feel like an inconvenience or even a frustration, there's wisdom in approaching this moment with curiosity rather than resistance. From a Buddhist perspective, waking in the quiet hours of the night can be reframed not as a problem to fix, but as a precious opportunity for mindfulness. In the stillness of 3 a.m., the world is quiet. There are no emails to answer, no phones ringing, no demands pulling us in multiple directions. This moment, tucked between night and morning, holds a rare stillness that can serve as fertile ground for inner awareness. If the body has stirred, perhaps the mind can follow, gently, peacefully, into meditation, gratitude, or even quiet reflection on the day that has passed or the one to come. In Buddhist tradition, many monks and spiritual practitioners actually choose to rise before dawn. The early morning hours are considered sacred, a time when the veil between the mind and the heart is thinner and insights often come more clearly. When seen in this light, waking at 3 a.m. becomes less of a disruption and more of an invitation, a soft call to return inward, to reconnect with breath, spirit, or a simple presence. Instead of turning to frustration or counting the minutes until the alarm, what if we welcomed the moment with open hands? Could we see it not as insomnia, but as a sacred pause? A moment to listen, not to the noise of the world, but to the quiet whisper of the self. Often the body knows before the mind is ready to admit it. We need rest, but we also need space for reflection. And sometimes that space finds us in the middle of the night. So, the next time you find yourself awake in the small hours, consider this. The clock isn't your enemy. The darkness isn't a mistake. It's simply your body's way of saying, there is something here for you. Be still. Listen. Reason number two, the body's clock, advanced sleep phase and new rhythms. As we age, many of us notice subtle but undeniable changes in our sleep patterns. The time we naturally begin to feel sleepy tends to creep earlier in the evening. What once was a comfortable bedtime of 10 p.m. might now feel too late, replaced by drowsiness settling in around 8:30 or even earlier. Likewise, our bodies often wake us up much earlier than we'd like, sometimes at 3 or 4 a.m., fully rested and alert while the world around us still sleeps. This phenomenon is not a flaw or disorder, but a natural part of the aging process, known as advanced sleep phase syndrome. It is the body's circadian rhythm, or internal clock, gradually shifting forward. These biological rhythms are controlled by a tiny region in the brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, which becomes more sensitive to light and less flexible over time. Hormonal changes, such as reduced melatonin production, also contribute to lighter, shorter, and earlier sleep. From a medical standpoint, this adjustment is expected and common among older adults. But from a personal or emotional perspective, these changes can feel frustrating, especially if one clings to former sleep schedules or feels pressure to meet societal expectations around normal sleep hours. The discomfort often lies not in the waking itself, but in the resistance to this new rhythm. Here's where Buddhist wisdom offers a compassionate lens. Everything is impermanent. Clinging to an old identity of being a night owl or mourning the loss of deep, uninterrupted sleep may only deepen suffering. The Buddha taught that attachment, even to things as routine as our sleeping hours, can be a root of dissatisfaction. But through mindful acceptance, we can shift from struggle to peace. Rather than resisting the body's natural rhythm, we are invited to listen deeply and respond gently. Early waking hours need not be seen as a burden, but rather as an opportunity for stillness. The quiet before dawn can become sacred time, a doorway to spiritual practice, self-reflection, or simply being present. If you find yourself waking up before the world stirs, instead of tossing and turning in frustration or anxiously checking the clock, consider embracing the moment. Sit up gently, wrap yourself in warmth, and try a short loving kindness meditation, metta. Begin by sending kind wishes to yourself. May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. Then extend those wishes outward to loved ones, neighbors, and even all beings. This simple act of turning inward with compassion during the early morning hours can transform what feels like a sleep problem into a spiritual gift. In these moments, the world is quiet, distractions are few, and your awareness is fresh. It's not about forcing yourself to sleep longer, but rather waking up with intention and peace. In accepting your body's clock, you align more closely with the flow of nature, and perhaps even with the rhythm of wisdom itself. Continue the scan all the way through your body, your abdomen, chest, shoulders, arms, hands, neck, and face. You may find areas holding tension or pain, or you may find surprising comfort. By bringing mindful attention to the body, you shift from a reactive state to a responsive one. This practice not only helps to calm the nervous system, making it easier to return to sleep, but also builds a deeper relationship with your body, a relationship based on respect, presence, and gratitude. In time, what once seemed like nightly disturbances can become moments of healing presence, where you meet your body not as an enemy, but as a lifelong companion, still whispering in the dark. Reason number 4, lifestyle habits, the quiet drift of routine. After retirement, something subtle yet profound begins to unfold. Our days gradually shift into a softer rhythm. Without the pressure of alarm clocks or work deadlines, the pace of life slows down. Breakfast can be leisurely, lunches unhurried, and evenings quiet. We begin to notice the sun setting not just as a marker of time, but as an invitation to rest. Dinner might start an hour earlier than it used to, and bedtime often follows not long after. At first, these changes seem minor, but over time, they shape our entire experience of life. This gentle drift into routine is rarely deliberate. It just happens. One day blends into the next, and the structure we once had is slowly replaced by comfort, and then by habit. It's easy to fall into a passive routine, television after dinner, scrolling through a phone, nodding off in the recliner. The world outside gets quieter, but so do we. Not in a peaceful way, but in a way that can dull the senses if we're not careful. And yet, there's great potential in this quiet. Without the noise of busy schedules, we finally have the space to shape our routines, rather than letting them shape us. This is the moment to become intentional about how we spend our time, not just during the day, but especially as night falls. The evening hours hold a special kind of energy. They're softer, more reflective, and when approached mindfully, they can become a sacred time for peace, connection, and spiritual restoration. Start with small habits. Light a candle during dinner, play soft music as the sun sets, replace the TV with a good book or a short walk under the stars. Create a simple bedtime ritual, tea, gratitude journaling, prayer, or mindful breathing. These aren't just habits, they're acts of self-respect, reminders that even in quiet, our lives are meaningful. Life lesson: we shape our days and they shape our nights. What you do during the day determines the quality of your sleep, your dreams, and your emotional well-being. A chaotic or empty day leads to a restless night. But a day filled with purpose, no matter how small, leads to restful evenings and gentle mornings. In retirement, we are given a rare gift, the freedom to choose how our time unfolds. Use it wisely. Spiritual reminder. Mindfulness isn't just for crises, it's for routines. We often turn to mindfulness only when life is hard, when pain or anxiety demands our attention. But the real power of mindfulness is found in the ordinary, when we infuse our routines with presence, truly being while brushing our teeth, while folding laundry, while sipping tea, we begin to live each moment as sacred. Evening is not the end of the day, it's the doorway to rest, healing, and spiritual renewal. Don't let it slip by unnoticed. Reason number 5, emotional and spiritual wakefulness, the heart's 3 a.m. call. Sometimes the body rests while the soul stirs. For many older adults, waking up at 3 a.m. is more than a physical event. It's an emotional and spiritual summons. In the quiet of the early morning, distractions fade, and what remains is the sound of the heart, soft, insistent, and honest. This is the hour when the mind slows down enough for deeper emotions to rise. Regrets, memories, grief, or yearning, all those feelings we keep tucked away during the day, have space to breathe. At this stage in life, many have experienced deep loss of loved ones, health, roles, or dreams. Perhaps there are words that were never said or moments we wish we'd go back and change. In the stillness of the night, those memories can reappear, not to haunt, but to be healed. This is not weakness. It's a sacred kind of strength, to feel deeply, to reflect, and to seek meaning. From a Buddhist perspective, this hour is considered a powerful time for awareness. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., the world is still, the mind is quiet, and the veil between the physical and spiritual feels thinner. This is the hour of the spirit. In Buddhism, waking at this time is seen as an opportunity, not a problem. When we stop running, the heart begins to speak. And often it speaks in the language of longing, compassion, forgiveness, and truth. Buddhist monks often begin their day before dawn for this very reason. It is the most potent time for meditation and reflection. This isn't brokenness. This is transformation. This is the soul knocking softly at the door of consciousness, asking to be heard, seen, and embraced. In Buddhism, we are taught to honor every moment, not just the joyful ones, but even those that feel inconvenient or strange. The early morning wake-ups are not interruptions. They are invitations, opportunities to sit with yourself, to breathe with the silence, and to listen to the deeper truths that daytime noise often drowns out. So, if you find yourself awake while the world still sleeps, take a moment. Light a candle, stretch your body gently, or simply rest in stillness. These moments are not empty. They are sacred. Let them be your temple. Let them be your teacher. And if this message touched your heart or helped you feel a little less alone, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who may also be waking at 3 a.m., wondering why. They deserve to know. They are not broken. They are awakening, not just from sleep, but into a deeper, more meaningful way of being. Until next time, thank you for sharing this moment with us. May your nights be gentle, your mornings mindful, and your spirit always at peace. See you soon, here on Buddhist Mindfulness. Namaste.